So hey, Day 6 programming is not dying down at all. It's the 2018 Twin Cities Film Fest, hosted by the Shops at West End and the beautiful Showplace Icon Theater, where we are right now, up at our Skin Rejuvenation sponsored red carpet. We are amidst Lumber Baron, and this is a fantastic Minnesota project. We have a writer-director, a producer, and a composer all with us. Barry Anderson, Karen Hurd, and Andrew Jocelyn have been so nice to join us. Post-screening, we had a full gallery here, and I'd love to start with you, Barry. Congratulations on this project. It's an era piece, and it's set against a very specific time period in a specific industry. So many of the elements required of you as a filmmaker, so specific to this one. What was it like putting all those elements together? I can hold that for you.
I'm just going to make
yeah.
one quick thing. She was the writer and producer. I was just the director.
I appreciate
So I'm not going
that.
to take credit for other people's work. Just gonna put that out.
Karen, thank you for the great writing.
Thank you.
In terms of what was difficult, anybody that knows that makes films, especially on a smaller budget, it's difficult to pull it off. And what I did is I wanted to be the person that went out and helped put together a team, both of the behind and in front of the camera, and suckered them into thinking this was a really good idea. So when it was like negative 17 degrees and we're outside freezing, I look at them and be like, aren't you glad I hired you? And they have to look at me begrudgingly and go, yeah, until next movie.
Right. So, Karen, what's your background with the lumber industry? And many times writers, they write what they know. You wanted to set this in a specific time. Can you talk to us about when you set it and where you set the project in terms of the industry? I can take that for you.
Okay, yes. It was 1910 is when we set the film, and specifically chose the lumber industry because it's an untold story, and we wanted a period piece, and that was a time when the lumber industry, we could have done it earlier, we could have done it later, but that was a really good time when the lumber industry was at its height and before it started to decline in this particular part of the Midwest.
And a huge part of what's driving this story is social class as well. So you're writing to those different components of socioeconomic status. Talk to us about that if you can.
Yes, there were two different classes that you're going to see there. There was lumber barons, and they were the upper class, but then you saw the lumberjacks. And the lumberjacks were the ones out there doing just all the sweat and dirty work. So it was good to see both of those classes.
Yes, and so our settings and our locations we're going to come back to that because that was such a big part too. Musically, Andrew's here to join us as well. Thank you so much for the score that you put together for the film. What was it like collaborating and finding musically the tone of the film? I can hold that for you.
Okay. Well, there's, it's like I always get the lock picture at the end, and I had to really create the story arc in terms of the emotional pulse of the film. And kind of like what Karen was saying, there's two different worlds that were being portrayed, both between the lumberjacks and lumber barons. And I almost had two separate ensembles of musicians to represent these two different worlds. So in terms of trying to pull loose pieces together, also the motifs of like this character's theme, this person's theme, and it's like, to throw it all together, it was kind of a mammoth undertaking. Also because it was like a very restrictive timeline as well as budget, and it was just like, okay, I pulled that off with 10 people.
Yes.
An anecdote for those that layman's terms, because I don't understand music. We bought like the 16 crayon box, and he made it like that 124 with the sharpener in the back. That's what he gave us, and I want to thank him.
Directors
Yeah.
speak in different languages. It's so great. Had you scored a period piece before, or was this your first dive into this challenge as well?
I did a Western film previously, but they kind of wanted a more modern take on Western music. So this was more kind of like the purest period piece I've done today.
Yes. Karen,
He's being modest. This was his favorite.
It was!
Karen, for you, writing in this family dynamic as well, that also plays another big part of it. Was that difficult? Did those characters really come off the page for you? Can you comment on that?
Absolutely. I wrote it, but I had been involved in theater for a long time. And then, so this was my first film production. And the first day, on set, we had Scout Taylor Compton and we had Joseph Bezenek, and they were doing a scene between Mary Catherine and Daniel Jr. I cried because they brought to life my characters so well. I had never seen anything like it on the stage or anywhere before. I literally just bawled. It's like,
Oh, I'm so glad you shared that.
yes, yes.
That is so great. Barry, one other for you. You had a ton of moving parts. You had a very large cast. You had 20-foot long saws. You had trees actually falling. So those were literal moving parts. Talk to us about coordinating all that.
Well, when Karen first called me and says you want to do this, it's going to be a period film. We don't have a big budget. And by the way, I wrote this script and it has 70 parts in it. I was like, okay. So then we decided that we're going to chop down trees. And we're going to learn how to go through the old lumberjacking stuff. So it was a little bit of a song and dance to convince people, but I think people bought into this whole idea that they wanted it. It's time travel. So we brought everyone back to a time, and we tried to be honest with it, and we tried to make it funny and relatable, and I think we did it. And I think all the parts, the story that she wrote, the visuals I helped create, the music you put together, and we filled up the theater, and people seem to really enjoy it.
Sure did, and it's time travel. He put it so well. Barry Anderson, Andrew Jocelyn, Karen Hurd for The Lumber Baron, a Minnesota project that screens so well tonight. We have a ton of cast, family, friends here. Go see this movie.